Chase's mic doesn't work. My laptop is about to die. Let's see if we can get through this.
Gosh, guys, we tried to record this last night. What a crazy week it's been.
Yeah. The only thing that's cheering me up right now is the beautiful voice of Mary Zhang that you just heard as our intro. Everything looks pink to me, brother.
Hey, that's how I felt in Boston. Everything was pink, baby.
I love Boston so much. That's what we're here to talk about today is our experience with Shannon's Parents Bar.
The greatest bar.
It was the greatest
Survivor Cafe.
Greatest bar I've been to. That's for sure.
By far. By far. It's a sick place. I mean, I genuinely couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, so sorry to everybody who's been having sanctuary withdrawals, but we're here now. Let's just start from the beginning. So we want to go to the Survivor Bar. It's sold out because we thought for some reason that we'd be able to get tickets a week before.
Hey, what can I say?
We were like, it won't be sold out, surely. But no, it was. And I think it was sold out for every other time it was open.
Yeah.
So
it was a big deal.
But Wild and Will, our Boston field reporter, came in clutch. He's like, you know what? Let me message Shannon and see what I can do. I did not have high hopes at this point because
I didn't either.
We had just done an episode about how she's a cult leader and similar to Charles Manson. That was Jonathan's assessment, not ours. So
right, yeah, no, we love Shannon.
Yeah, we weren't calling her a cult leader. I mean, we might have been, but Jonathan was the main one doing it.
It was for the jokes.
A little behind the curtain, we had a clip about Shannon being a cult leader that we pulled.
Yeah, we pulled it from the IG and the TikTok.
Yeah, we're like, if she's our only shot to get in, maybe we shouldn't make a clip about how she's a cult leader.
Yeah. Even though it's a joke, and I think she would have handled it just fine. She's a grown up. She would have probably laughed at it, thought it was funny. But we wanted to get in because we were going to Boston regardless. So it was like, we're either going to be in Boston watching the episode in an Airbnb, or we can be in the greatest bar.
And thanks to Shannon, the night was a lot more memorable.
Ton of fun.
I didn't think that we were going to get in. But it turns out Will just has a way with people, I guess.
The Survivor world loves Will. I
call Will the mayor of Boston now.
Yeah, definitely the mayor of Survivor Boston. Let's just, at one point, Jake from 47 walks in to the bar. First thing he does is hug Will, like immediately. It was fast. Boom, hugs Will, keeps going. What? I was in so much shock when I saw him. I out loud to Jake from 47 went, "It's you."
Classic Chase.
Classic me.
You're like, Jake, it is you. You are Jake. And that was your interaction.
I was like, whoa, it's you. That was it. Whoa, it's you.
That's incredible. But speaking of incredible, Will did get a response from Shannon. Shannon was like, I'd love to do that for you guys. And the only direction that we had when we got there was ask for Tony. That's all Shannon said. She's like, get there and ask for Tony. We get to the bar, we're like 10 minutes early, waiting outside. Will walks right by us. Like, doesn't even recognize us at first. I had to stop him and be like, hey, Will, you're just going to walk right by me? What the heck, dude?
I mean, to be fair, this is not a video podcast.
That's true, but he does follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
At PD Bachman and Chase Bridges, if you wanted to do the same. Little plug there.
Not even for the Survivor page, just for our personal pages.
Just follow us personally. But so it's time for us to walk in and try to make this happen. We still have no guarantee that we're actually going to get in at this point.
I was, to be completely honest, I was like, we're not going to be getting in tonight. That's okay. Because at this point, we had already been in Boston for a day and we were having a blast. I was like, hey, whatever has happened is what's going to happen.
I mean, I had the same, like, whatever happens is going to happen attitude, but I was like, I'm going to do what I can to make this happen.
Yeah.
So
well, let's talk about that, because this was very funny to me. We
I'll
walk
let
in.
you tell that part. But first of all, I walked with Will. As we were walking up, I turned to Will and I
Yeah.
said, "We are confident and we belong here."
We walk in. Will asks the guy at the front, "Hey, I talked to Shannon. He said to talk to Tony." He goes, "I'm Tony."
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
like
perfect.
I would describe that as like a leadoff double. And if to put
Yeah,
it in
like we were
baseball
off to
terms,
a hot start. Funniest thing about this guy is if I told you to imagine a guy named Tony who runs a bar in Boston, he looked exactly like what you're picturing.
yeah, definitely.
He goes, "I'm Tony." He goes, "Here, let me talk to the." So apparently, the bar isn't in charge of letting people up to the Survivor Cafe. There is an employee of CBS there. It's her job to decide who goes up and stuff like that. We talk to her. She goes, "I've got a lot going on right now. I got to get everybody in. You guys wait over there." While we're handling this situation, PD is talking to Tony now. PD is like, Tony's like, I think you asked him, I was like, "Hey, Shannon could win it all." And he was like, "That's our girl. We're rooting with 5 for 5." You were like, "Hey, she hasn't been to tribal yet. I think she can win it all." And he's like, "That's our girl." And Petey goes, "Hey, that's our girl too." He goes, "You guys are friends with Shannon?" And Petey goes, "We love Shannon."
So after the leadoff double that I described, that felt like a home run. Like I just knocked in
Yeah,
2 runs.
yeah.
Because I just flipped a switch and I was like, we gotta get in there. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to be Tony's best friend for a minute. The way that I started talking to Tony was, or what did I say? I said, "Tony, you're a lifesaver," and he's like, "Hey, I love Shannon, and if you're a friend of Shannon, you're a friend of mine," something like that. And I was like, "This is perfect."
Yeah. And he was like he was really rooting for us with the CBS lady to get us in. He was like, "Hey, wait right here. I'll talk to her."
And the funniest part was that he thought we were bloggers. I think he told the
Yes, he said,
CBS lady
"Oh,
that we were bloggers.
the bloggers that Shannon emailed about." And we were like,
And
"Yep, that's us.
shout out to
Blogspot.com."
Shannon. I didn't know there was an
Yeah,
email sent to CBS, and apparently she
yeah.
did it like the day of.
He was like, "Hey, I got some guests coming." We were Shannon's guests, dude. That's baller.
And if you do a favor for me, I will
Hmm.
become your biggest fan, be your biggest
Yeah,
cheerleader. And that's what I demonstrated that night.
that's some foreshadowing because PD spent the entire episode in this bar screaming about how much he loved Shannon.
That's right. And then before we got let in, we're waiting off to the side of the bar for the CBS lady. And I was like, let's wait
Yeah,
until she stops looking busy because she was
yeah.
very busy. And then we sent
Hmm.
Will over. Will and Elizabeth,
Yeah.
Chase's wife,
My,
Elizabeth, was there with
she was
us.
with us. Yeah.
Yeah, she walks over with Will. And then it was at that point that Will was like, she still thought we were a blog or something. And Will was like, the Making the Merge podcast. And then she was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Bro, immediately puts bracelets on us, takes us upstairs, took care of us. It was awesome.
I was not expecting that reaction to Making the Merge.
Yeah.
I figured she would just be like, okay, Shannon's friends, come up here. But it seemed like she knew
Yeah.
what Making the Merge was, which was shocking to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, she probably I thought she would be like, "Who? I don't care." But no, she was like, "Oh, yeah, come on."
Yeah, she
So
actually
Shannon
said, the
really
Making the Merge podcast. Come this way.
yeah, she's like, "Oh." She was like, "You guys, I know you guys. You're the guys that kept calling Shannon a cult leader, right?"
Yeah. You were the guys who wanted to interview Saul in the 47 off season, and our company said no.
I don't think we've ever talked about that publicly.
I don't think we have either. But we've had Saul
But
on
here's
now.
what I'll
It's all
say.
good.
Yeah, we've had Soul on twice.
You know what I want to say about CBS? I love it. I love CBS. I appreciate CBS.
I appreciate CBS. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Especially after this night.
Yeah, it was so sick, dude.
And what I love about an event like that is that as you're walking up the stairs, you can feel the energy shift that's happening. It's like going to a pro wrestling show. When you step through the doors, it's just you're entered into another world.
And what's super cool about it is like everyone there loves Survivor. So they're all wearing Survivor buffs. They're, you walk in and it's multiple floors, but on our floor, you walk in, there's the bar, there's a bunch of screens, there's a big screen that's got the episode, but it's right before the episode starts. They have some of the challenges, so people are like in line wrapped around so that they can try out the Survivor challenges. They have a little
Mm.
booth that looks like tribal council, so you can write someone's name down on the parchment and like take a picture of you voting someone out.
You've got Survivor decorations everywhere and logos.
Yes, everything, the Survivor logos everywhere. Everything's dressed up like Survivor. It's you got a picture on the wall of all of the Survivor players that have visited, that have signed it. You have a winners wall that has pictures of all of the winners. It was so sick.
Yeah, I walked in and just immediately felt at home in that kind of an environment.
Yeah.
Also, it was awesome just because I've never, aside from when I watched Survivor with you and Elizabeth, that was like the most people I've ever watched Survivor with. Usually I'm alone.
Yeah.
I'm screaming by myself at Survivor. To be
Yeah.
able to do it with, I don't know, 100 something people, who, however many were packed into that bar, it was
Yeah.
such an awesome experience.
The energy was like people were cheering during the episode. They were booing, which we'll get into. Like it was everybody was just a Survivor, which is so fun because usually the only interaction you get while watching Survivor is an online interaction, like on Twitter
Mhm.
or whatever, Reddit or whatever you're using, and it's mostly negative. This was a completely positive environment, and that was so fun.
Positive for everybody except for Shannon. But let's
Right, right, right.
so we talked about getting in there, feeling the energy, just looking around, being in awe of everything. Let's talk about the start of the episode, because we got in there like right around when it started. I immediately go to the bar, and
Yeah.
I'm just like wedged in between two strangers trying to get a drink for 15 minutes. I eventually got the drink, but then by the time I get it, I look over and you're standing at the entrance in the back,
I'm in the back.
corner.
Yeah, it's packed, and so I was up front at one point. A guy was like, "Yo, he's way too tall to be standing up there," and I was like, "You know
Which-
what? That is very true."
Boston accent man was correct. Chase is
Yes,
a very
no,
tall
100%.
person.
I'm 6'4", and I don't know if you guys have ever been to Boston. It is not built for tall people.
So I get my drink, and then I end up just like settling. I found a chair. I found like my own corner. I started making friends with the people around me. And that was because they said something about Riz God, and then I turned and I was like, you know, he's got a girlfriend, and on TikTok, her name is Liz God, and then you know, then all of a sudden I'm friends with all the people around me. That's all it took.
Yeah, yeah. PD was having a blast. I hadn't seen him in like 20 minutes because it was taking him forever to get his drink. Now, I do want to point out, it's not the bar's fault that it was taking so long to get the drink. It was just that packed. There's just that many people there.
Yeah, every time the bartender would be mixing anything, I would just be making eye contact with him with my wallet out. Just be like, one of these times he's going to talk to me when he comes back. But
because there's also a restaurant element. Like there's people getting food, there's people at tables, and then there's the standing room, which is what we were, where we're just hanging out at like the bar.
Mm-hmm. So I look over, I see Chase and Liz, and I think Will was over there with you too. I was like, I'll go over to them again. And then as I was standing there, I was like, I want to be back in my corner. So I just took off again and left Chase, Liz, and Will over by the entrance. And I think I had said to you, like, dude, we can figure it out. We can fit you in there somewhere. But you didn't. It seemed like you just didn't want to bother anybody.
I don't want to be in the way. A lot of people paid a lot of money to be there. We were there for free. Yeah. I didn't want to hinder anyone's experience. I was fine chilling by the door with the bouncer because we were both tall. And he looked at me at one point and he was like, ugh. And I was like, hey, man.
The way I am is if I'm going to be at something like that, I want to be in the middle of the action. So yeah, I was having a great time with my vodka and pineapple juice in the corner, and then I get like halfway through the drink, and Will is over with me in the middle of the like the big screen area by the bar. I looked to Will and I was like, man, Chase, he's too nice. Look at him over there. He's trying to be out of the way. I was like, we can find places. And I looked next to me. I was like, look, literally right next to me. There's like, he could stand here. It doesn't obstruct anything. And I'm like twirling my drink around. I'm like, you know what? Go drag Chase over here. Tell him I have a spot right next to me. And Will did.
Yeah, no, he did. He ran over. he said, "PD said there's a spot for tall people. Let's go." And then he ran back off. And so me and Elizabeth followed. There was a spot you would find a nice area for me behind a pole, so that way I wasn't in front of anybody, and we were leaning up on the bar. It was awesome. And it was way better to be in the thick of it than to be in the back.
Yeah, so that's why I had to make that happen. And I knew if I walked over and I was like, Chase, come over here, that you might have said no to me. So I was like, you know what? If I tell Will to go drag him, it'll probably happen so fast that Chase will just be inclined to follow Will.
And that's very, very true.
And then as for like watching the episode there and everything, it was hard to hear.
It was hard to focus.
Yeah, I mean, me and Will would just be like screaming things out or like having side conversations, or the people next to me, I'd be talking to them or you. So it was like you couldn't pick up on all of the dialogue. Like we weren't intently listening to every word like we would be if we were watching.
We got the big beats though. Like we saw the Christina stuff where she almost passed out. We were picking up on the big things because the whole place was reacting, which was so cool. So it's like when something happens, everybody was like, "Oh!" And it's like, "What?" It was so cool.
Yeah, and you got the sage moments of
oh dude,
her facial expressions, and then the whole bar was laughing. And
the bar loved Sage, and you know who. And I guess if I was just watching at home, I wouldn't have figured this out. Baldy, I think, has become the fan favorite of the season.
Yeah.
Every time she did something, the whole place cheered.
And I approved of that. I didn't approve of their Shannon reactions, but I love that everybody is a big fan of Baldy because Baldy is somebody that I want her to win.
Yeah, me too.
I want her to go all the way, and I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. I mean, I'm pretty much at this point, like, this is the sanctuary, so I won't be in full character. I'm not winning this season. And so I'm really rooting for Baldy to win. I think she's awesome.
At this point, you're just trying not to lose the season.
Right. As long as Jonathan can lose his 2 players before I lose my 2 players, I'll be all right.
Yeah, but every week that goes by, Bran has a bigger and bigger percentage chance of losing somebody week to week. So
yeah, that's true. But he's also got a really good shot at this point of having the final 4.
Not going to happen. Baldy's going all the way. But yeah, I really, I became a character in the bar.
Yeah,
with how much I was going hard for Shannon. I thought it was hilarious to do that, especially because I love it when if like the whole world turns on somebody, I'll be their biggest defender. Like
like Kanye West.
That's how I felt.
Or Kevin Spacey.
No.
Or Bill Cosby. You really rode hard for Bill Cosby.
I need to clarify my statement. When the world turns on somebody for non-criminal reasons, I can support them then. I just like to be a contrarian. And since everybody hated Shannon, I was already trending in this direction. For I was like, I made the sound drop for Shannon. When we did the therapy sessions, I wrote this long thing for Shannon because I was recognizing that Shannon was really important to our show and Survivor up to this point. Like, she was really driving the discussion. And even if you don't like the reasons why she was doing that, it was good for the show. She's entertaining.
Yeah, it was good for our show, good for Survivor. She was one of the most entertaining players so far this season, by far.
And then you add on top of all that she personally got us into the Survivor bar. Yeah. And yeah, she's my favorite player of the new era. Okay, maybe I won't go that far, but I won't do a full chase. But I was definitely like, in all of my screaming for Shannon, I'm going to be honest, I can say it was pretty sincere. I mean, I knew it was funny, but I was like, I will die for this woman after she gave us this experience.
Yeah, well, it was, there's that. But also, I mean, you had everybody around us laughing because everyone, and this is, we talked about this on the main episode, people were booing Shannon
throughout
during the
episode,
thing. And then, throughout the whole thing. And then at the end, when she got eliminated, the whole place erupted and cheered. So when PD throughout the whole time is like cheering for Shannon and like yelling at people who were booing for Shannon, everyone's laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah, somebody sent or somebody posted a TikTok of the bar's reaction, and all you can hear is cheers. And one of our fans commented, "I guess PD got drowned out."
Dude, yeah. I believe that video came from a different floor, which is why
Oh,
you didn't hear PD screaming, "Her parents own this place."
hilarious thing. I mean, there must have been. I guess it was more casual people there because, like, we know the backstories of all these people. That's why
Right.
Anya and another woman kept asking me questions about the contestants throughout the whole thing, and I had the answers.
Well, it's our job.
Once I explained I had a podcast, she was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense. That's why you know all this stuff." But she's like, "How old is Rizzo?" And I was just like, 26. She's like, "Why do you know that?" I'm like, it's just
I
in my
wanted to make
brain.
sure he was legal before we sexualized him on our show.
Yeah, totally. And then what was another one? She's like, when she heard Baldy talk, she was like, "That sounds like a Miami accent," and I was like, "She's from Miami," you know. But then the funniest thing was when Liz came in with the one question I didn't know the answer to because they asked,
Yeah.
"How tall is MC?" And I was like, "I'm not sure." And then your wife just blurts out 5'9".
And everybody was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." And then like 2 seconds goes by, everybody's distracted. She leans over to me and PD and she goes, "I just made that up."
Hilarious, amazing bit
Yeah,
by
great bit.
the other
Uh,
Liz God.
yeah. Speaking of Shannon's family, who runs this bar, owns this bar, we put out a clip this week from the main episode where we talked about how everybody cheered for Shannon, how we were rooting for Shannon. In this clip, I think is one of the most it's one of the funniest things PD's ever said, and it's because it comes across like the most sincere thing he's ever said, which
But
is
it's like partially not even a bit. I mean,
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I think the reason it sounds so serious and sincere is because it's true. But
yeah.
PD says, "I love Shannon for everything that she's done for me," and the way he says it makes it sound like she gave him a kidney or something.
She might have. You
Uh,
don't know.
Guys, her brother comments on this clip. He goes, "Ha ha 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 ha. Thanks for fighting the good fight, fellas. Hope you had a nice time." Great comment.
That's our boy Danny Fairweather.
Johnny Fairplay versus Danny Fairweather. Um, it seems like the family has a good sense of humor. They're rolling with the punches. Then her mom comments, "Thanks for coming. Shannon was so happy to have you there and help you guys out. And have no fear, Shannon's from Boston. Nobody is bringing her down. Don't even try." Laugh
I love
emoji,
that.
laugh emoji. So basically, we're best friends with Shannon's family. We're best friends with
Yeah,
Shannon's family.
I believe that too. But I believe what Shannon's mom said about Shannon because
Yeah,
it's a different attitude in Boston than we're used to. You know, those people are
dude.
confident. They know where they're going. They're
Yeah.
walking over here.
Yeah. I mean, we could do an hour-long podcast talking about just how much we love Boston. We went to Salem for Halloween, which was dope.
I
Uh,
loved it so much. I'm considering going back in December.
there's no way I can, but I would love to.
Yeah, come on. It'll just
Yeah,
be a couple days.
we had like an apartment on the eighth floor of this ancient building. We were just walking around the city all week. It was so sick.
Yes, I want to read my DM to Shannon. Um, I said, "Hey, I'm one of Will's friends who does the podcast. Seriously, thank you so much for letting us get to experience this. Really sad to see you get voted out, but just know I was booing every time they read your name on the parchment." And then the next day, Shannon hits me back. She said, "Ha ha ha, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Glad you guys had a good time." So, Shannon's the
What a nice
best.
family. What a
Yeah.
nice family. I like the Fairweathers. Their bar is awesome. If you're ever in Boston, you've got to go to the greatest bar. It's right by like the big sports stadium. After the watch party, after the Survivor stuff was over, which we hung out up there a while after it was over, we then
Yeah.
went down to the first floor and just like hung out and had some drinks in the bar. And it was awesome. Everybody there was it was a great time.
Yeah, I was watching the World Series,
Yeah.
and it was just a great environment. One thing I want to say to Survivor fans right now, if you're legitimately pressed over Shannon just because she was doing meditations and stuff and kind of
Yeah.
being fake to Sage, because I mean she was talking about wanting to get Sage out, and then when it became advantageous to her to be in a
Right.
relationship with Sage, she switched up on that. So
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a game. it's a game,
Well,
and she was an
also,
entertaining character in the game. So it's like, why
she
would
was
you actually
she
be mad
was
at her?
she was the villain, and that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody's always bitching
Hmm.
about. Is we want more villain characters. That's what she was being, and she was just being a very religious villain, which is funny.
She doesn't she didn't know she was a villain, but she was a villain nonetheless, and we need that
Well,
in
that was the
Survivor,
edit,
like you're talking
man.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the edit too. It's like we don't know. Like she's not a bad person because of her
um
how she was shown on Survivor.
no, she isn't anywhere close to Rome, as far as like Rome was a real
No.
villain who knew he was a villain. And there are some
Yeah.
people in our Patreon who are like, I don't want to see Rome come back. He's the worst. And I was like, I want to see him come back because he's the worst. That's what we
Yeah.
need. That's what drives the show forward is people you hate.
Right. And that's because everybody is always complaining about Survivor all the time. And one of the biggest things is that they wish that there was that kind of old era animosity between the players instead of the kumbaya, we're all family here vibe. And it's like, you don't, it was like with Say last season, where everybody was just like, oh my God, I hope Say gets out of the game. It's like the second Say's out of the game, we lose a bunch of conflict between Mary and Cedric. And you know what I mean? It's like,
That's exactly what
you
happened
need,
too.
yeah, it got so boring because it was you were left with all the nice people instead of any of the villains. You have to and again, and we say this all the time. We are not talking about these players' personal lives. We're not talking about them as
Unless they bring it
people.
up, like Jake.
Right. We are talking about them as a character on a TV show. And I think people get parasocial with them and think that what you see on TV is who they are.
I want to play something from Shannon.
Mm.
This is an interview with the New York Post where she talks about Sage. The caption here is Survivor 49's Shannon Fairweather reacts to Sage's personal vendetta against her.
Nothing came as a surprise to me. That being said, that doesn't mean it's not hard. You know, it's hard. I think it'd be hard to have anyone talk badly about you, but specifically because I do love Sage so much, it's painful to watch it. But I think within that process, there's just so much opportunity not only for my own individual growth, but also for me and Sage's friendship. I think because we've been in such a unique, difficult situation together, with proper communication, which me and Sage are both very passionate about, it can lead to like a deeper friendship, oddly enough, but it is hard to watch.
I thought she came across very well in that clip.
Yeah, I agree. She's not taking it too seriously. I think maybe they had a conversation after the show was over. I think Sage, and this is what Bran was talking about in the main episode, Sage has mentioned before that she had a really hard time making friends, and then her friends would just ghost her out of nowhere. And I think the big reason that she didn't give the hug at Tribal Council is because she wants, if there's to be a friendship there, she wants it to be legitimate and not her being fake. And then when Shannon watches the season and sees Sage kind of shading her the whole time, there's like a betrayal there.
Yeah.
So I think they're both handling it like very mature people who were on a TV show.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I mean, Sage is becoming a pretty big star, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it would have been so nice if Shannon was still there so we could have that rivalry going into the merge. But
exactly.
That's how the Survivor cookie crumbles. That's how the Survivor crumble cookie. And
yes.
Sometimes you just don't get what you want in the game. I wish Shannon was around until the final 3. There, I said it.
Hey man, I wish she would have won the whole season, man.
Me too.
Because of everything that she's done for us.
What she's done for me and my family and my country. And I love Shannon so much. Do you have anything else that you want to add? Anything that we missed from our time at the bar? Because I have a song that I want to end on.
I think that's everything. I think the last thing I'll just do a quick update for anyone who's keeping up with our draft. Bran still has all 4 of his players that he drafted, which is insane.
It's a Kristen.
Is this
That's
the first
doing
time?
A Kristen.
I was about to say, did Kristen ever do this like after the merge?
I
Or
think
is this the
literally
first time
the first draft we did with Kristen, she went into the merge with a full team, and that's when we knew we
so
made a
this
mistake.
isn't a first.
We made a mistake by
But
letting Kristen in because she was too good.
if another couple weeks go by and Brand still hasn't lost anyone, it's going to be an insane run for Brand. PD still has 3 out of 4. The only person he's lost is Matt. He still has Rizgod, Baldy, and Nate. Jonathan has lost 2 players. He lost small guy Jason and the shoe bandit Jake. He still has Jawan and Sage, which I think his only shot is Sage at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have lost 2 players now because Shannon is out. I lost Jeremiah and then Shannon. I still have Steven Ram and Segretti, which I do feel good about those 2 players. I don't know if they win though.
The detective and the rocket scientist or whatever he does.
Yeah,
I'm really excited. I feel like the 3 biggest candidates for an elimination at the merge, which is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a preview. The merge is happening,
Yeah.
even though I said it was going to happen. It's still happening. I think the biggest candidates for elimination are Christina Mills, Jawan, and Sage.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's also some kind of like outliers that could be potential to go next, which is like Segretti or even
I really think it's
even
Jawan.
It could be Jawan. It could be Nate
because he just voted out Shannon, who was on Uli. Once he gets back and they realize he voted out one of their numbers, Savannah, Rizgod, and Nate are probably not going to be happy at all.
I think Jawan is I think, and you could be right. You're usually right, and I'm usually wrong when it comes to these predictions. But I feel like he's in a good spot where he's kind of the head of his alliance. And I just don't know if he's going to be going home next.
Savannah has been going after him in these confessionals for 3 weeks in a row. Now that he voted off somebody who would have voted with Savannah, I think he's done for.
Yes, but that's a number for Savannah. Jawan has his own numbers. He has his own alliance.
Yeah, I mean, we kicked off last episode talking about how much she hates him. I remember the previous 2, I think we were also talking about how much she hates him. She's such a powerful player, and she's coming back for 50.
She is.
Jonathan's shaking in his boots. I think Savannah's going to get her way. Also, Savannah, I messaged her about doing an intro for the podcast. She responded immediately and was very nice about it. I mean, she says she doesn't know if she can do it because of contractual things, and she's going to be on 50. So we might not hear from her on this pod for a while, but when we can make it happen, we're going to get Savannah to make the merge.
Oh, yeah, of course. She's one of my favorite she's one of my favorite players of the new era.
Oh, yeah? Man, and that means a lot because you've never said that about anybody.
No, I don't sway.
No. I want to end this show with a beautiful song about puzzles. I don't know if you've ever heard this song before. This is by Jake Schroeder, I think is how you pronounce that name. And let's hear from him here.
Why does every challenge have to end with a puzzle? And like, why does every survivor this season feel like they've never done a puzzle? It's shocking how the blue tribe performed on that puzzle. It low-key looked easy to me. The puzzles are hard when you're under pressure, especially the pressure to survive. Puzzles are hard, yeah, they're extra stressful when you're trying to stay alive. Oh, reality TV for you and for me, from my couches in Brooklyn or around the country, watching season 49. They'll all be fine, but maybe change it up, Jeff. Give us something we won't expect. Whoa, tonight.
Beautiful.
Hey, I think that would have been awesome if we hadn't gotten a bunch of challenges that didn't end in
Hey,
puzzles the past
In
couple
his
weeks.
defense, he posted that on October 2nd.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, he's in the clear.
So
Great
it was
work.
accurate.
What did you say
But
his
I
name
love
was?
the song. Jake Schroeder, I believe. I don't know if I'm
Jake
pronouncing
Schroeder.
that last name correctly, but the first name is definitely Jake. All right, thank you for listening to The Sanctuary. My laptop's about to die, so this show is over.
See you, everybody.
Now you guys can listen to ads for the next 20 minutes. I don't know.